I found out my boyfriend been cheating on me with 3 girls while I was away visiting my family for 10 days. My name is Ava. I am 25 years old, and the worst part about being cheated on is not the betrayal itself, but the moment you realized you were the only one who believed the relationship was real. I used to think love was simple, something soft and safe, something that lived in late-night calls, in quiet goodnight texts, in the comfort of knowing someone chose you even when you were not around, and I believed in all of that because of him. I trusted him in a way that felt natural, effortless, like I never had to question anything he said or did. And maybe that was my first mistake because I never imagined that the same person who made me feel secure could be the one quietly breaking everything behind my back. I met him almost a year ago through mutual friends at a small get-together. He was charming in a quiet way, not overly loud or attention-seeking, but confident enough to make you feel noticed. He had a calm voice, a warm smile, and the kind of presence that made conversations feel easy. He worked in marketing, always busy, always on his phone, but somehow he made time for me in a way that felt intentional. At least in the beginning, he remembered small things about me. My favorite coffee, the shows I liked, the way I got quiet when something bothered me. And slowly, I let my guard down. What started as casual conversations turned into long calls, late-night drives, and eventually a relationship that felt real. Or at least I thought it was. Everything started to change during the 10 days I went to visit my family. It was supposed to be a peaceful break, a chance to reconnect with people I had missed and step away from the routine of daily life. He dropped me off before I left, hugged me tightly, kissed my forehead, and told me he was going to miss me so much. And I believed him without hesitation. The first few days felt completely normal. We texted throughout the day, shared random updates, laughed about small things, and ended every night the same way, with him saying he was going to sleep early and that he loved me. It felt consistent and safe, like nothing had changed. Until one night, something felt off in a way I could not explain. I woke up around 3 a.m. and reached for my phone. Without thinking, maybe it was instinct, or maybe it was something deeper trying to warn me. I saw his message saying he was going to bed and that he loved me, and for a moment I smiled because it felt familiar. But then I opened his location, something I rarely did, and that was the moment everything shifted. He was not at home. He was at a different address, somewhere unfamiliar. And I stared at the screen, hoping it was wrong, hoping it would change, but it did not. He was at someone else's place in the middle of the night, and instead of reacting, I stayed silent. I did not call or text him. I just watched and tried to understand what I was seeing. The next morning, I asked him casually how he slept, and he replied instantly, saying he slept perfectly all night. And that was when something inside me broke quietly because it was not just the lie. It was how icily he said it, how natural it sounded. And that moment changed everything, even though I said nothing. The next night, it happened again. He said goodnight, told me he loved me, and at 3 a.m., his location showed him somewhere else. Another house, another lie, and then it happened again and again. Each night following the same pattern like a routine he had perfected. At first I tried to convince myself it was just one girl, something I could somehow process. But as the locations kept changing, the truth became impossible to ignore. It was not one. It was multiple, 3 different places, 3 different nights, 3 different versions of the same betrayal. And still I stayed quiet, I laughed on calls, replied to his texts, acted like everything was normal because by that point I was no longer reacting, I was observing, and slowly I started planning. Those 10 days changed me in ways I did not expect because by the time I came back home, I was not heartbroken in the way people imagine I was. Clear about who he really was, clear about what I meant to him, and clear about what I needed to do next. I did not confront him right away. I did not cry or argue or ask for explanations. Instead, I let him believe everything was fine. We talked like nothing had happened. He told me he missed me, told me he could not wait to see me. And I let him say it because I needed him to stay exactly where he was, unaware, comfortable, thinking he still had control, but behind the scenes. I was preparing to leave on my own terms. A few days after I returned, I reached out to someone from my past, someone who had always treated me with respect, someone who never made me question my worth. And when he replied, it felt easy, uncomplicated, like something honest for the first time in a while. We decided to meet, and when he came over, the difference in energy was undeniable. There was no confusion, no hidden behavior, no pretending, just real conversation and genuine presence. We talked and laughed, and for the first time in days, I felt something shift inside me. Not anger, not sadness, but a sense of control returning. And in that moment, I realized something important. I was not the one who had lost anything. He was. That night was not about revenge in the way people expect. It was not about hurting him back. It was about reclaiming myself, about reminding myself that I was still in control of my own life. Later, I took a few pictures. Nothing dramatic, just enough to capture a moment that symbolized moving forward, and then came the final step. I sat on my bed holding my phone, calm in a way I had not felt in days. I opened my gallery and looked at all the screenshots I had collected, each one showing his location at different houses, at different times, while he told me he was asleep, and I realized I had all the proof I needed. Not assumptions, not feelings, but undeniable truth. I sent the screenshots first and waited. A few seconds before sending the pictures from that night, and then I typed one final message telling him he was not the only one who moved on. I watched as the message delivered, and within moments, the replies started coming. First confusion, then denial, then panic. He asked what I was talking about, tried to explain, tried to twist the situation, tried to regain control, but it did not work because for the first time, I was not emotional. I was not reacting. I was done. He kept texting and calling, trying to fix something that had already been broken long before I found out. But I did not respond because there was nothing left to say, and the most unexpected part of all of this was how I felt afterward. I thought I would feel anger or heartbreak, but instead I felt peace. Because the truth is, he did not destroy me. He revealed himself, and once you see someone clearly, there is nothing left to hold on to. Looking back, I do not regret how I handled it because it was never really about revenge. It was about choosing myself, about finally understanding that love is not just words or promises, but actions that match those words. And sometimes closure does not come from long conversations or apologies. Sometimes it comes from a quiet decision to stop accepting less than you deserve. To stop believing in a version of someone that never truly existed, and to walk away without looking back, and that is exactly what I did. I walked away not broken, but aware, not lost, but stronger, carrying with me a lesson that changed the way I see love, trust, and most importantly, myself. If you were in my place, what would you do? Let me know in the comment section.